Welcome to the Dead Broth and Beyond podcast. I am your host, Tara.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm Matt.
We just got back from Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights here in Hollywood. We're going to go through all of the different haunted houses with you guys, and we're going to start from number 8 all the way down to our favorite, which will be number 1. We're also going to talk about the different haunted attractions this year, such as Late Night with Chucky and the Terror Tram. So without further ado.
Adieu.
Matt, would you like to get us started?
Absolutely. So we're starting off with number 8 because we're doing our least to first. Least to first
sounds weird, but yeah, that's right.
Everything's rated. There were some really close calls in the list, but there's some clear-cut ones that we had voted on and our numbers and our math that I did and all that.
We all definitely had our own opinions about everything. So I think this will be a really fascinating conversation.
But everything was surprisingly close on how we rated things. Like, if you looked at everybody's numbers and everything like that, we were all pretty much on the same mindset of how we voted on things. Which is crazy, because I remember last year we were all over the place on what we liked and disliked. So
we kind of were.
Yeah.
This year it seemed a little bit more concise.
I think it's also because each house was so different in its own way that it was very easy to kind of separate them.
It was.
I will say right off the bat, I wasn't disappointed necessarily with any of them.
No,
because of different. Well, there's reasons I would be disappointed, but as a whole, I wasn't disappointed.
Oh yeah.
Which last year I was disappointed with some of them, so this is a little bit unique for me to say.
I was disappointed last year in quite a few things.
Oh yeah. Exorcist.
So let's go ahead and start with our number 8, which is our least favorite haunted house. But really quick, are we calling them mazes or haunted houses? I just realized
I think they're called mazes.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about our least favorite maze at Halloween Horror Nights.
Universal actually calls them haunted houses.
Okay, so our least favorite haunted house.
It says on their website haunted houses.
Our least favorite haunted maze.
Houses. Sorry, my apologies. So our number 8 is A Quiet Place. Who wants to start off on this? I could start, but I think you guys should.
You know what sucks though? Okay, so this one was obviously our least favorite, but the outside was fucking sick. It looked cool. So when we were going into it, I thought it was like that house, right? That looked like it came from freaking.
Oh, that was a
Stranger Things, right?
That was a little past the entrance. Like we already went into it for a little bit.
Yeah, that thing was sick.
Oh yeah.
I liked it. I thought it was going to be good. I just wanted to start out on a positive note, as in it was dope when you were walking in, and then it was no longer.
It had the same entrance as Evil Dead.
Yeah, I liked it. I like that feeling of going into like some fucked up house.
I thought you meant the actual outside entrance, and I was like, no, it was just a sign that said A Quiet Place.
No, like Sarah,
No, idiot.
Yeah, no, that was cool. I really like when they make you feel like you're outside walking into an inside structure.
Yes.
That's such a cool effect, and they do it really, really well.
They did.
The thing I liked the most about it, I think the animatronics were really, really well done. They had really cool animatronics of the creatures from the movie. The thing I hated about it was it wasn't scary. And the only things that would jump out and scare you were just people whispering and like putting their fingers in front of their faces.
Going shh.
Yeah, that's not scary. So,
It's not scary, and were you done? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was really disappointed. First of all, because I listen to the radio while I'm working all day. I'm hearing the hype for this every day leading up to us going to it. Hear the new stuff for The Quiet Place, having a new way of being scared and all this weird stuff on the radio. And I'm like,
not being scared.
yeah. And it was so underwhelming. I actually disagree. Like, visually they looked great, but they didn't do shit.
Right.
The animatronics didn't do shit other than flashing lights on them and stuff like that. It was so underwhelming. I think they could have done a little bit better.
Hell yeah.
They should have made like some sound activated monsters or something.
Going into this house, just know that when you start, you're not going to wait. You can't wait for it to be done. So that should just give you
agree.
Of how you feel as you enter, and then you're like, man, I can't wait to get done with this one.
It was
done.
underwhelming.
Even in the video that we uploaded, you can watch the walkthrough on our channel, by the way. All of the houses are on our channel, which I want to point out, guys.
We will be posting the links to it.
The Death Valley video is at 5,000 views. So, hey.
We're getting there.
But
thumbnail, dog.
On this one, there is a part where I'm walking through and I actually do get scared, but I get scared because of the way the person jumps out at me. I was under the impression they were going to actually like scare me, and they don't. They just do the shh thing. And then it made the scare not that great anymore.
It made it very stupid.
So yeah, that is why that is our least favorite haunted house.
All right.
We're going to see
Quiet
how
place
the
silence.
house. Oh yeah, that was another thing. Is the house was so quiet, and I get it. It's called a quiet
No.
place. Yeah, but like, so with the house, there was no atmospheric sounds that really like in all the other ones. They have the lights. They have the loud sounds that pop up when you are supposed to get scared. That didn't happen
There was only a couple places where that did happen.
with the
but it was-
animatronics. With the animatronics,
Right, you're right. But yeah, but it was
animatronics are cool if there's a unique feature with all of them. If you're going through and seeing the same animatronic every single time, it's not that cool anymore. So yeah, we can move on to number 7 now. Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
all right. Moving on to number 7 is Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines, which
I wanted to like this
is
one
polarizing
so bad.
from last year's.
I wanted to like it so bad.
I thought it was gonna be good.
Well, because the build up for it was great. It's in the same soundstage that Frankenstein was filmed in, and it's in the same soundstage as Jurassic Park, as well as Bride of Frankenstein. Like they're hyping it up to be this.
They
really,
hype it hard.
Yeah, I think I had one good scare in that whole thing, and it was when Frankenstein came out on
Same.
stilts.
Yep.
It was very unexpected. But yeah, it was one of those houses that like my heart was there, and I think maybe that was the problem, was the expectations were too high.
Yeah, and I feel like this is one of those where they try to tell a story, and if you watch the video, if you watch the walkthrough, because Tara Deem was oblivious to it.
Matt's really good at paying attention to the story of haunted houses. I forget. I'm too busy looking at the
The
sets.
story and the aesthetics. Like I try to keep an eye for detail. They did not do a good, like all you saw, like each area that we went to, like room wise, like each time they did a cutaway, like I don't remember if there was like an X symbol, but like they showed like a picture and it was like, oh, we're going to Transylvania to kill the bitches. Like they're like, oh, we're going to kill Dracula's bitches type thing and all that. So it was very,
There was
everything.
one effect where someone was beheading
the
someone else.
decapitation.
Yeah, there was a decapitation effect that was actually really cool,
They did a good job on that. That was probably one of the redeeming values.
but it wasn't scary.
No. Sarah?
I had the same vibe as the other one. I couldn't wait for that shit to be over. And that girl's voice that was narrating it just like
Yeah, that was-
annoyed me.
And then we kept being in the same room for a while, and it just kept repeating. Over and
Yes,
over
I was like,
again.
get me the hell
Oh.
out of here.
I like that you just tell it as it is every time.
Well, it is because like those were the only 2 mazes of the entire night that I felt that. Where I was like, get me out of here, dude. This is lame.
Which is good in terms of the other ones are going to be great, but
Or better.
yeah, or better. That's true. I will say, I feel like we also were probably in a bad part of the line. And I say that because the first like 5 rooms we walked through, there wasn't a single scare actor. We didn't get scared. I was actually really disappointed by like the 3rd or 4th room that nothing happened. And I knew we just were at a bad place in the line. And we were trying to slow down so that we would get scared, but still no one came out. And I think they were just waiting for like the party behind us or something.
Or
So-
it's just how it was. We don't know, but
I looked at other videos online and they actually like got scared from the first few rooms. So I think it was just they didn't time it correctly.
We just got effed.
Yeah.
all right. Are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
All
So
right.
sad. I wanted to like that one so bad.
I
That
think
was,
we
that was
all
my
did.
favorite maze last
And
year.
like the cast members, are they called cast members at Universal?
Call them cast members.
All right.
Scare actors.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I'm talking about like the employees that were actually telling us like the little things, like telling
call
us
them
that
cast
like
members.
Frankenstein was filmed there. I think I enjoyed the little factoids.
Yeah.
About the area, about the soundstage. I love hearing about that stuff. Like,
There was one cast member that was talking to us before we crossed the crosswalk that Matt is discussing right now. He was great. He was super excited about his job. You could tell like he made the walking up to the house really fun. And honestly, for that guy, I that was like my favorite part of the whole maze, as Matt is saying. right
Should get
now.
a raise, sir.
I like those who don't know. I'm not trying to derail too much, but I love hearing the history of like hearing about sound stages. Like when I went to After Midnight and I was heard that like the sound stage we were on, they filmed The Godfather there. I was like, yo, I
little
wonder what
movie boner
scene they
went
filmed
straight
here. And, like that's like
you're
my
also
mind.
you're at Universal Studios. That is a lot of why you're there is to learn about movie history.
Oh yeah, I love like the regular like the base tram.
Yeah.
And like they're like, oh, we're filming this over here, and you're just like, oh, dude.
I think if they did do more sound stages where they're like, hey, we filmed the Mummy here and it was a whole mummy maze, but they was like really true to the film, I think that would be super successful.
I remember when we were a
Absolutely.
little kid, they had that little sound stage at Universal you went in, and then
Oh,
you made
yeah.
all the noise for the movies.
Like for
different
Back to the
lights and
Future and Alfred
Nutty
Hitchcock.
Professor.
The lights and sound effect or whatever it's called. I remember it, but I was so young at the time. It's like, I remember going, but I don't remember the show.
They
The
did an
Backdraft one, that one was
Backdraft.
sick.
See,
I was
they,
glad they took
I would
that
get
away.
a nosebleed from Backdraft because it would get so hot in
I
there.
loved
yeah.
it.
Oh God, Matt.
I get like panicked as a little kid. I liked it.
Universal is a theme park now. They're less about showing you how movies are filmed, and
Which
that's
sucks.
fine. Like you have to go with what people are wanting. But that was just such a golden time in Universal's history, and I'm very glad that we all got to at least experience it.
Absolutely. Now, before we get too far off, we're going to move on to number 6, I think it is.
Matt's getting a little sassy over there.
I ain't trying to get sassy. I know we're
We're moving right along.
moving right along.
Matt was like, I'm not getting off track.
I could. Number 6 is Monstruos.
Menstruation.
Well, dang.
I was reading off the
Menstruation.
screen, and for some reason it looked like an E instead of an O, so I was about to say Menstruos, and I'm like, wait.
Out of 1 week every month, it happens.
Back to Monstruos 2. I don't really have much to say about this one. It had some good jump scares.
Which sucks because last year, this one was one of my favorite haunted houses.
Right.
This year was not.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And I
It was not.
Whatever.
I do like Latin America, so like they really do like everything about that house is sick. Like everything in it's super sick. Like the vibe is cool. I just didn't
It's
have
just-
like the same feeling as last year.
yeah, that's what I felt like, and I don't think it had I didn't have high expectations for it per se. Just I a lot of these, like, I went into with a clean slate, like whatever, like sequels, prequels, whatever, clean slate every time.
I thought it was good.
It was-
It wasn't
it-
the highlight of my night. But it
Love
was
that.
good.
Yeah,
It was really
it
good.
wasn't a highlight, and like I said, not all these we hated. It's just where they landed on the list.
Yeah. It was a good house.
Whatever.
It was a good house.
I rated it as like 2.
Well, I've never
Where did you
cared.
rate it as?
I don't remember what I rated.
Tara rated it higher than you and me did. You and me rated it the same.
Because remember, I was like, I don't know if I should pick this one or that one, and you were like, go with your heart, and I was like, Monstruos.
Okay,
And-
fair.
And initially I had rated it higher, but we were compromising and stuff. I have never like cared or even thought about like Hispanic heritage monsters or anything like that. And to me, this is such a lesson in all of that. And they're so fascinating and so creepy that because it's so new to me, I love it. I think it's super cool. And I
Latin
like
America's sick.
the atmosphere of it is really neat. And it's just like, to me, that's what I think of a monster is the way that they've depicted them. The one thing with there was this one animatronic and it was these fingers coming out from below this kid's bed.
Ooh, that was a good
Oh,
one.
that was-
so creepy to me.
That wasn't Chupacabra. It was something else. It was the monster I heard of.
It was tight.
There were some great visuals.
I will say though, the last year they had this one monster that kept popping up and he was super scary. And this year, I don't think that they had the same monster. I think it was different monsters.
Oh, that scarecrow type monster type thing
Yeah,
that got
last
really
year.
big towards the end.
Yeah, he was terrifying. This year they didn't have that same kind of effect, but I was terrified of that guy last year. This year I just had more fun.
Yeah, well, this house was sick. Like
Yeah.
I said, Latin America, like they have the best like horror like stories
That makes I
that
feel
come
like
from them.
I feel like Asians have better horror stories personally.
They have the scariest.
Yeah.
But these ones are more of like, do you
Like
know what I mean?
fun.
Latin America's more into like magic and like all kinds of crazy shit.
I see.
The living
Like
dead,
voodoo
like,
and not
all
necessarily
kinds of
voodoo,
stuff.
but
Yeah, I feel
like
like
karma.
Asian cultures are more into like bloody, gory, like
yeah,
morbid,
absolutely
like
disgusting,
yeah.
like weird.
I would love to see like a
Weird
Chinese,
shit.
say that because she's Asian.
a
It's
Chinese
true.
or a Chinese
Weird.
themed or Japanese themed.
Oh, man.
my gosh,
The
like the Japanese
Japanese-
demons.
Don't
Well, we
mess
did the
around.
episode on the spooky games, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
Japanese ones were in there.
All right. But yeah, it was great. I mean, it was good.
Good.
It was good.
I enjoyed
I hated the damn bone curtains because Sarah dick checked me with the bone curtains.
Sorry, you got to be faster than that, dog. Your
Well,
reflexes need to be
flailed
fast.
those curtains
If you're in a
open.
horror film, Matt, you're dying first then.
Got a bone to the bone.
Like she like literally like just flings the curtain
it.
open, and all of a sudden you just see like this pendulum, and I'm like, "Drop."
In Sarah's defense, we both had to sync in synchronicity open the curtains together because of the way I was holding the camera.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
It was more of a push, I guess.
And I was trying to stay behind you guys to help control speed.
Yeah.
So
Dude, it was freaky sometimes because you were trying to like control your speed and you were also holding us back. So there's no one in front of us for a while. I look back and they weren't behind us anymore. I'm like, oh no, we're alone.
Stop. Oh shit.
Yeah, it was creepy. That one, I will agree, it was more fun than scary, but I really like the visuals in that one. So
Yeah, that one was sick.
yeah, that's why I rated it super high.
all right. You guys ready for number 5?
Fine.
Number 5 in the
Number 5 is
Golden rings.
is
Oh my God, that's so funny to
Insidious.
me.
Number 6 is Insidious
No,
The
5.
Further. Oh. 5 is Insidious
Start
The
over
Further.
again.
Number 5 is Insidious The Further. We tried our best to be very fair in this area and these next couple houses because these were our first houses. Hollywood, Los Angeles was going through a monster heat wave at the time.
It was, I don't think I've ever been there when it was that hot.
It was sweltering.
So bad.
And the worst thing is, like, we were seeing that they had like coolers going, and I think the heat was just so bad those coolers could not keep up with
There
it.
was no way there was a cooler on in this house. The Insidious house, it was hot as can be. There was not even an attempt at a cooler in there,
Yeah.
personally.
That made it real spooky. It's real hot.
Yeah.
This
Can't even
maze was
breathe.
one of the few mazes that wasn't in a soundstage too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're right.
I didn't think about that. So they can
You're
already
right.
AC them before you get in there.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, they have to like,
They have portavacs or whatever, and you could see that. Like, I was watching like this one in Ghostbusters, they had portavacs going, but I think it was just because it was so hot, they could not keep up with it.
And also, we had gotten there. We were one of the first ones in the house for the night, so it was like they had probably just flipped everything on. So there was no way that thing. Well, number one, that thing had been sitting outside all day with the black walls and the sun beating down on it. So when they finally flipped everything on, was when we first got there because we actually heard them turn everything on.
Oh yeah,
So we got the brunt of it in this house, unfortunately.
but
This was the second one we went in, right?
Yeah.
After Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
dude. And you know what sucks is how do you even get in the spooky season if you can't? You're not even cold. You're just hot.
One thing I'm actually really bummed about with whenever we go to, well, this is our second year, but when we go to Halloween Horror Nights, we like to get there early so we can report back to you guys and you know how the houses are. Unfortunately, that means we get to these houses by early September. So by the time October hits, our fun is basically over. And it's just one of those things. It's still hot in September. It's still summer, technically. We've already experienced our Halloween season. So,
That day they did have a heat warning too. It was like,
yeah.
oh yeah, they
It was
did.
hot.
So let's actually talk about the house.
Yeah, I like these. I liked this house. It was cool. It had a lot of things from the movie. You saw Keyface. You saw the red-faced demon. You saw
Who's Keyface? I never saw the movies. I saw the
Keyface
first
is like
movie.
this like weird top hat looking demon looking guy.
Okay.
I'll pull up a picture while you
I
guys are
feel like
talking
it's
about
weird
it.
that I rated it more high on my list because, like you said, I've seen the first movie and that's it.
Yeah.
But I really did enjoy this house, minus being fucking hot.
Right. I was surprised when you rated it as high as you did. I figured you'd be a little bit harsher on this one.
Well, I think that sometimes I just be forgetting. It's like I don't really remember that experience.
Yeah.
That's Keyface.
I just thought it was something cool they threw in there.
I thought they had better pictures. 'Cause I could remember, like, I thought he was in a suit at one point or something like that.
With the red-faced demon, that was our first scare. We walk in and he popped out of a frame or something like that into our faces. And that was actually really scary. And I had a good jump out of that one.
I did have scares in that one.
Yeah,
for sure.
that one was actually
That one had
sure.
scares.
Yeah.
That one had some good scares.
And I think that's why I rated it so high because I had more scares
Right.
in this
All
particular house.
like from here
Halloween
on,
Fun
we
Night,
have
it's Halloween
yeah,
horror night.
from here on we have nothing but solid scares, great visuals, and
yeah.
everything.
Yeah,
Like,
so all the fun ones are done with. It's all scary at this point.
Like you said, because it was hot. I think if we would have went when it wasn't hot, I probably would have been.
they
like,
must, this might
great.
have been higher, but
I agree with that.
Same.
We were trying to be fair, but at the same time, because there's so many people packed in one spot, it got hotter. And then also you had to wait for them to go through. So the scares weren't as consistent. So it was hard.
It
but-
was coming out
But
sweaty.
it still got a high, it was the middle of our list. And I think that was pretty damn good.
but
Yeah.
these numbers are all pretty close from here on out. So.
There was one section we walked into a hallway and immediately there was these figures. I don't know what you call them, like figures of people from like the other realm just staring at you. Remember that?
Yes.
That was really trippy.
Yes.
Because you're not expecting it. You walk in, it's just all these people lined up looking at you. And psychologically, I thought that was a cool scare. And some of them were real people. Some of them were just like figures. You know, you could tell which ones were and which ones weren't. But I like that effect.
It was great.
And then the red-faced demon was saying hi to us before we walked in the house. That was fun.
That was really cool.
He was a little peeking out with his little fingers.
It was really cool. And like, I feel like they did the movies justice, by the way, with this
I
maze.
agree with that one.
Okay, that's great because, like I said, I'd never seen it, but I liked the maze. That was great.
I feel like it did the movies justice and everything like that.
The costume, the characters that played the red-faced demon, I think it looked just like the movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
sometimes you get them and you're like, like that Leatherface looked a little wonky, you know what I mean? But
You said,
yeah, but this guy was pretty, well, all the actors that played him, they were pretty true to the character.
But also, if you haven't seen the walkthrough videos, totally watch them because this year there's a total difference in how we had like a different camera setup and the way the cast reacted to us having the camera was much different than the first year. So if you didn't watch them, make sure to watch them because there's way more this year than there was last year.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. All right. So now it's time for a little intermission. We're going to talk about the scares.
Let's all go to the movies.
No, don't go away. No, fuck off. No, we're going to
Fading out.
We're going to take a little bit of a break from the list and we're going to talk about
we're going to discuss the Terror Tram and then be sure to check out our part 2 on our rating of Halloween Horror Nights haunted attractions.
Absolutely. And just in case, don't forget to hit the like and follow and subscribe buttons.
Comment on our walkthrough videos too and let us know what you think of the houses or if it's something that, like, let us know your rating. We're really curious.
If you see something random in the videos, point it out.
Yeah.
Please.
Or if you actually hear me scream, which is very rare.
Oh, no, you screamed quite a bit.
Did you? I know there was one. I'm not going to say which one. I'll say it on the second list. There's one where you hear me yell.
You said my microphone
really good.
It is good.
With that being said, our first scare attraction that we're going to talk about is the Terror Tram.
Yeah.
So I actually thought about it a couple times, and I actually thought, and I know like I talk shit kind of at first at the end, but because this is a Blumhouse Terror Tram, where they kind of did a thing where you kind of walk through some of the movies that the Blumhouse has made.
Walk through them.
Yeah, you kind of.
I guess I wouldn't say walk through the movie.
Or like a little mini showcase of them or something.
Do you remember all of them? There's like Megan,
Happy
Black
Death
Phone.
Day,
The Purge,
Black Phone.
Black Phone.
Black Phone.
And then they had what's her face from that one movie. I can't remember the name of it, where it was like the black lady that wanted to like be.
Whoa, you can't say that.
You can say black lady.
No, you can't.
You can't say black lady.
No, you're not supposed to identify race or pretend it doesn't exist.
Okay.
What are some other attributes about her that you
older, darker skinned lady?
Person of color would
Matt,
be
I think we need to apologize for being white right now.
I'm not trying to be. I'm trying to be like, because the way it was is like she was like this fun, like older lady, of a different color, of a darker complexion. I don't fucking know. I'm not
She's
trying
a
to be
person of
neat.
color.
I'm not trying to a person of color.
Sarah can say that because she is a diverse person.
Only half.
No, she's half diverse. You need to apologize for the other half. Sarah.
Just put quacks in there for every time I say that word then or something then.
Matt, we're just
kidding. You can say black lady.
You guys.
I'm sorry. I was just giving you a hard time.
All right. Anyways, so they had she was like trying to be like a cool person and party and like with these younger kids and she was older.
Mama, right?
Yeah, I think that was
Yes. I know that.
I didn't catch this
They
at
showed
all.
her like they had a lady dressed as her. That was a crazy movie.
You've never seen that movie? It's actually pretty wild.
It was
Wait,
pretty
is she the one that you
suspenseful.
told us about where the girl is like in the basement at the end?
No.
No. What's the one with the mama? What's in that one?
It's a large black woman.
No, I've never heard of this.
What? She like parties with teens, dude. And they like, she becomes like a,
What's the
like
one
the
with the
cool
like
older
creepy
lady.
twisty lady? That one's called like Mother or something like that, or Mama, or
Oh my god, I know what you're talking
you know what I'm talking about?
I
That
know
one.
what you're talking
I didn't
about.
see the movie, but
What is that
the
called?
trailer was creepy
Because I watched that movie.
because like she was all twisty.
Yes.
Weird. Yeah. Of course you saw it.
Ma.
Yeah.
It's just called Mom.
Yeah, she's called Mom.
Okay, yeah.
Between Mother, Mom,
Ma.
and Mama, which all came out around the same time. Like, get new names.
Because mom, there goes, there's like M, there's a person with a gas mask, and then there was like another M in the movie cover.
Yeah, Ma was a crazy movie, and I forgot that it was a Blumhouse movie.
That actually was a wild ass movie.
But yeah, so you go through all these different Blumhouse movies, and like Happy Death Day. I remember one of the doll faces or whatever they're called in Happy Death Day. Scared the shit out of me.
Which part?
I do love
Like,
Happy Death Day.
Where
where
were you
the
in the-
Bates Motel was.
Okay, that's right.
There was like a
Oh, that's
cutaway,
right. That's
and
right.
like one of them like got right in my face when I wasn't paying attention and got me good. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there thinking about like last year, like comparing it to last year's Terror Tram, and I realized I was like, they actually did a good job of setting up some scares in this one, like especially like Purge and all that. You're very
no, I'm gonna
biased.
have to
I'm actually
Matt is the Paula Abdul of the group.
He really
no,
is.
actually, because I really thought about it, and I actually thought, like, you know what? They actually did a better job, and especially if I'm comparing Blumhouse to Blumhouse last year,
Okay, that's
it
fair.
was like I
We're
feel like
calling
they.
you Paula.
Just because you thought about it doesn't mean you're not Paula.
I put no, because I actually put fair thought, and I'm giving them a fair shake.
So does Paula.
Off.
Are you Simon or are you Randy?
I'll take Simon.
I feel you're more Simon.
Because
wanna be
you
Randy.
know I can be mean. I can be
I feel like you're
mean.
more like personality like Randy, but I don't want it to be like because you're the only like not white person.
You
you're
said you
automatically
have to be. You're the only minority in the group, so you are Randy.
She said it.
But
I didn't.
I gave it a fair shake, and actually, like, there was like a lot of fun visuals, and I actually kind of like that. And I realized something is I have a very bad habit of getting freaking effects in my mouth.
What?
What?
Yeah, like blood effects and things like that.
Oh.
What is in your
Right in Jurassic Park, I got freaking dinosaur venom in
Okay,
my
yeah.
mouth.
All right.
Freaking going through the area in the
Do you
Megan
just walk through
area.
places like this?
I know. I'm just sitting there like, oh, look at that.
Matt just needs to
Close his
freaking
mouth.
open up
Every
his
time I
throat
try
and expect
talking
the
or something
liquid.
like that, like I need to get like some like nylon over my mouth or something like
You
that.
need to wear
so
a
I can-
mask.
Matt's just practicing for his OnlyFans.
Oh hell
The
yeah!
money shot.
I did not like the Terror Tram.
Same.
And I was very disappointed in the Terror Tram. The idea was freaking cool though. Like the idea of like all the different like walkthroughs is cool. I don't think it was executed well. I was not scared. At one point it was almost overwhelming. Like there was too much going on. I couldn't focus.
I felt like it was kind of last minute thrown together.
Yes. It's like wasn't very like cohesive either.
There
It
was a
just
lot
like,
of blank space between the sets, and I put sets in quotation marks because the sets were kind of like, you know, a little square with a chair and then like someone reenacting something from a movie. It wasn't even that scary. And then like you walk through another hallway and it's like, oh, the black phone. And it's literally just like a hallway outside with the grabber looking at you. He wasn't even that scary either.
No.
Which I was so disappointed because I saw that there was going to be a black phone thing, which is one of my favorite scary movies. And it wasn't even that good. I was so bummed.
it sucks because the last few years the Terror Tram for me was kind of been like
Miss.
whatever.
They do. I don't
Like a
think that
whatever.
they do it. They have such a good opportunity there to do something great.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what sucks
Right.
because it could be something so freaking cool, but then it's like they put that's like the last thing they're worried about.
Right.
It seems like.
If they like put more into their sets, made them actually like cohesive as you're
Yes.
walking through, which I think Blumhouse is a cohesive idea. But I think when
Yes.
you take all of the different movies and within 20 feet of each other, you have a new movie right there and like a new quote unquote set, you can't really get into it. It's kind of like you're just jumping around.
One thing I actually didn't like at all about the Terror Tram was the fact that they had that VIP area.
Oh
Yeah, you had to be in the VIP to get
I
to the
looked it up. It
special
wasn't
area.
that cool. I'm just saying. It wasn't like anything unique and scary.
Well, that's bullshit.
Well, gotta pay extra money, Matt.
They had this
Well,
one year when I went, this had to be like 8 years ago, maybe almost 10, but they did, the tram was like the Walking Dead. And that one actually scared me because you got off the tram and they chased you. It wasn't like you're walking through. It's like you trying to escape, dog.
I've heard that.
You're
I've
trying
heard
to
the Terror
escape,
Tram
and it's
doing that
scary.
before, where they actually chase
Yes,
you.
and it was
like it's like a
actually
running of the
terrifying.
bulls.
I
like
saw a video. Actually, that was the very first time I ever watched it. Not the first time, but that was one of the first times when I was old enough to watch videos on the Terror Tram, and I saw that and thought that's way too scary for me. I
It
probably
was
can't do
terrifying.
that. The thought of them dropping you off on the tram
Yes.
and having to walk back was so scary to me. And now they don't even put that much thought into it. And
No,
it's-
I think it's because they're worried about fat people getting too scared.
And it's scary because when you would go, they were like all lined up.
Yeah.
And they're just like staring at you. You're like, I don't like this at all. And then they all move at one time. And you're like,
You're like,
Gotta go.
nope.
See ya.
that's how I felt. So scared.
Well, like, how would we improve it? I know, Matt, you said you liked it, and obviously, there's always room for improvement.
So I did like the phasing of the different things. Like I don't remember the black phone very well area.
Because it was two guys
It
dressed
might
as
have
the
been just
grabber,
really
that's
short.
it.
I just remember there was like one of the guys was doing like a cool like knife trick type thing.
Yeah, it was
And
just
I
like
remember-
a hallway you walk down with a fence.
But like the purge area was done kind of well, I
The
thought.
Purge area, they did the same thing last time, and
The
it was
Purge
just
was there last year,
like
too,
it's
huh?
literally just them standing behind the things on the set of War of the Worlds, which is like, come on, like come up with something. I don't think the
every
Purge
year.
is scary. Like you're wearing neon.
I don't think the
masks.
purge is
Yeah,
scary
the Purge is
either.
not scary.
I actually love the concept of the purge.
I wish the Purge was real.
Same. I think they need to have different boundaries, and that's
Because I'm
something
gonna purge some motherfuckers.
I'm good.
improvements wise. It's hard because I know they're trying to create an area where you can walk through and have different experiences. The Larry Larva thing last year, great on paper.
I
And
think it was fun.
it was fun.
I liked last year better than this.
I was
year.
gonna say I actually prefer last year's.
I still don't think it was
I'm
great.
the opposite. I actually liked this year's more
But I
than
feel
last
like
year.
if you're a Blumhouse fan,
Yeah.
you will like it.
See,
Yeah.
Matt's more into like
You will like
movies
it.
specifically, whereas that was an original IP, and I think that you and I like the original. Like it literally just appeals to your taste versus ours.
Like-
and last year wasn't great either, but I
No.
think it was
Oh, yeah.
more fun to have a unique character.
Like the Happy Death Day area. I thought that area was really well done. Any area that gets the shit scared out of me, like when you actually catch me off guard, I applaud you because that's kind of hard to do.
But like you could have someone in a bunny suit hiding behind something, and you just happen to not expect them. It doesn't mean it's a great haunted house.
True.
Sorry, I'm just going to debate with you a little bit on that. Like I
Well-
could scare you easily if I hide behind something properly, and you don't know I'm there. It doesn't mean that the house is necessarily like above and beyond. It just means, hey, they got you good, and
Yeah.
you were there at the right time.
Yeah, the fuckers got me good.
Yeah, exactly.
You got me good, you fucker.
Get me good.
They got like a B for effort this year.
And I'm definitely not gonna say it wasn't entertaining because it was entertaining.
I don't think it was
but-
And I did like enjoy like that they gave us that teaser trailer for that movie.
on the bus, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, the
That
lady,
James McAvoy
the lady
movie.
that freaking led it was probably my favorite part of the whole thing.
Oh, the bitchy one in the beginning?
Yeah. she was
Yes, I
cool.
loved her. I
Oh
was
my
like, oh
god,
God.
dude. She was like
Yeah, the tram driver was great.
Yeah, she was great.
she was like it seemed like she was like deliberately being a C word and I
Well,
was
yeah,
just
that
like,
was her role.
I feel like she
I
could
was
be
just
like that in
damn,
real life,
he's
but I did
sassy.
She's like,
like
nobody
it.
asked you.
She's like, I don't care.
She was great.
Yes.
But
She gets 5 stars.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think she gets 5 stars. The actual attraction, I don't think was entertaining.
I think that the attraction gets 2 stars.
That's so when we walk through a haunted house, I'm always holding onto your hand or something like that. With that one, I don't care. I just walk through it, just like
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
I do agree with that.
Weird though. Weirdly, last year Tara was more scared. This year, I think because she had the camera, she was not as scared.
Which is weird because they pay more attention to you with the camera.
I know.
I think because my focus was on making sure I got a good shot. It wasn't in so much like I can get scared.
Last year, I had to like pull you back.
I learned a lot.
I
I've
bet,
grown.
Tara.
I've grown a lot since then.
You have grown a
Hey,
lot
at least
over the
this year
year.
you didn't do like a cholo lean and freaking throw out your back.
Yeah, that was. I remember that exact moment when I threw out my back.
I remember watching that exact moment.
That hurt. I remember that.
I think we actually have that on video. We might actually have that part on video.
Yeah, it was in the Universal Monsters one. So with that being said, is there anything else you guys want to throw in about the Terror Tram?
No, but I think we can cut here and stay tuned for part 2.
Yep, we'll see you guys in just a minute.